This is the 2013 Altima. What I want to point out for you, one of the nice features that I love about this product, what they've done is this is the 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. It has actually increased in horsepower to 182 horsepower, so you get a little bit more performance. But one of the things that last year's model that was not as the greatest things is the basically how much noise you had inside the vehicle. What they've actually done here is they have full insulation. Right here, it's about 3 inches thick actually, that insulates it to deaden the sound. You also have sound deadening that actually goes right along the side of both fenders on the inner and outer fender wall.
Sure, okay.
It's great that way because basically what that's going to do for you is it's going to cause the engine to be, even though that it's fuel efficient, you're not going to make a lot of noise in the vehicle while you're driving it, which is nice and quiet that way. And the extra horsepower makes a lot of zippy and really tons of fun. Some of the neat things that you do get is easy location for your power steering fluid, for your coolant, for your washer fluid, brake fluid over there, and really easy to access the air filter. And what that means is easy servicing. As you can see, it's easily displayed and laid out. And as me, back in the day, I used to be a mechanic. It makes it a lot simpler to fix, which costs you less in the long run, which is nice. What I want to show you, though, the best part about this vehicle is the styling. Styling has completely changed. One of the neatest things that I love about it, back from the Samurai Soldier, they actually have this display right here, which is from the Samurai Soldiers that they used to use when they go into battle. So it's all ready to go out and into battle. It's ready for the roads. Another thing that I really love, the Maxima has always been a beautiful car, but the Altima has actually incorporated the Maxima style headlights in here, which is good for a couple of reasons. It actually deflects the air nicely past the vehicle and past the side view mirrors, as well as gives you a sharp appearance. In the 2.5 liter, it was never available to get the fog lights down below factory installed. So this vehicle actually comes equipped with the fog lights, which is good for those foggy nights and stuff when you're doing long road trips, which is great because you know it's for safety to be able to have great sight, especially if your 16-year-old boy is going to be driving the vehicle as well. You also have a lower indicator light, which is down below here, which is a nice feature because basically with it, it allows it to be out of sight, separate, and gives you a nice clear path of view. So that's kind of nice. I'll just take you around the outside of the vehicle. One thing I want you to point out is you see this long line right here? It's like a nice high shoulder line. It's a really beautiful and elegant look that the Altima does have now today. You also have these new mag wheels, which are brand new for this year. They actually are kind of look like they're in motion, how they're kind of spun, which is really neat. You actually have disc brakes here, which I wanted to point out, which is a nice common feature, but it is really good to know that you have disc brakes. Another thing that you do get is full ABS brakes. It's 4-channel ABS brakes, so it's independently regulated between all 4 wheels. There's an intelligent key system. Now, the intelligent key system has been around for a bit for Nissan in the Altima since 2007, but what they've incorporated now is remote start. I'd show you how the remote start works, but we are indoors and don't want to breathe in exhaust.
Yeah, that's fine.
One thing that all it is as simple as pressing the lock button once, holding it down, and it will start up the vehicle for you. The nice thing about that is whatever temperature you have it set, say it be that it's cold and wintry like now, you can have the heated seats and the heated steering wheel on, so when you get into the vehicle, it's the perfect temperature for you. Nice. And Mrs. Smith will definitely love that. So one thing I want to show you about inside here is there's a lot of cool new features. So feel free to take a seat inside. So this seat has been completely redesigned since last year. It's actually a zero-gravity seat. It is designed to take away from driver fatigue on long-distance roads. So you can feel it's really comfortable in your seating position. You also have a full air lumbar right here and a full 8-way power driver seat. Makes it nice and comfortable if you get to drive. I don't know. I'm married, so I don't really get to drive. I'm usually in the passenger seat, but that's usually the case for me. So some of the neat features as we roll from the left to the right of the car that I want to point out is basically you were interested in some technology. Within about 5 minutes, I can sync your smartphone with this vehicle, and not only do you get Bluetooth hands-free phone system, you also get Bluetooth streaming audio. And what that means for you is you don't have to take your phone out of your pocket and connect it to a wire before you can start driving, which makes it quicker and more seamless for you. Makes it, saving time is always a good thing.
Absolutely.
Another thing that you've got right here, that's your heated steering wheel for you as well. Easy, quick pop trunk release. And this is your vehicle dynamic control, which I'll get into in a little bit later. One thing that I also love that Nissan has actually done for this year is they've actually moved all of your controls onto the steering wheel here, which allows you to actually go through all your different functions that you have for it. You don't have to take your hand off the steering wheel to activate those things. One of the neat things that they've moved into is it actually monitors every individual tire and tire pressures to let you know which tire pressure is low if there is one. The other thing that they've done is they've incorporated an audible horn beep system so that when you go and fill up your tire, if you go to fill it up and it gets to the right temperature, it'll give you a friendly honk once to know that you're at that PSI, and if you go a little bit over, it'll actually beep at you twice. So no need to carry around a pressure sensor in your pocket, which is kind of nice to have as well.
Cool.
You also said that you like the technology stuff. One thing that this one is equipped with the navigation in the SL 2.5 is you do have blind spot warning system, which what that will do for you is if there's a car in your side blind spot, it'll actually notify you so that you won't crash into them. Now that's going to be safe for you, but it's also going to be safe for Mrs. Smith. And since Jack's 16, maybe if you're nice enough, you'll actually let him to drive it, and it can allow him to learn at an easier rate for him, which is definitely a great feature for him.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, you got moving objects, so that basically if you're in reverse and let's say Jack loses his lacrosse ball behind you and he goes to retrieve it, you can actually see it, but it'll also give you an audible beep to allow you to know that. Another thing for those long road trips that you said you like to go down to the States, this has lane departure warning system. So when you're driving down the road, if you tend to nod off and drift off the lane, it'll actually beep at you audibly and show you a visual sign. It allows you to alert you and wake you up so you can be, retrieve yourself before you fall asleep and keep the safety of your vehicle, which is great. So with all of those features, did you have any questions about just how any of that stuff works?
Nope.
I know it's a little bit complex. The navigation system in here is fantastic too when you want to go on long road trips. One thing about the Nissan, since you were driving a Toyota before, the one thing I wanted to let you know is the warranty is actually good for Canada and the United States, so that if you ever do have any issues, you're completely covered while you're down there. You don't have to worry about it. The other thing, we do have an available warranty that's, that we can tailor to your needs, because it looks like you drive your vehicle for about 8 years, and we can actually tailor a program that will actually protect you for the length of that car, so you're not dealing with those troubles that you're having now today, making you get out of your Toyota.
Okay.
So it's a great features that are available that my business office can talk to you about, and they can tailor it to your needs, which is, I don't know, it's just fantastic.
Sure,
and it makes me really excited about it. So if you like to get out, I will show you another neat system. Taking a look at the back brakes, you can notice that you also have a full disc brake in the rear. Like I said, 4-wheel, 4-channel ABS brakes. Another fantastic feature that you do get with it is electronic brake distribution. What that's going to do for you, so basically if your vehicle is completely loaded up, you've got all your friends in there, all your golf equipment in the back, the vehicle can recognize how much weight is in the vehicle. It'll actually apply the rear brakes before the front brakes to allow you to have a controlled stop. And for you, that means safety, right? And the people and the occupants that you have in there. Another thing that you have is brake assist. So what it does for you too, so it actually will increase the brake fluid pressure for it, the brakes, so that basically inside the pedal feels the same whether you're empty or whether you're full. Great thing about that is when Jack starts driving and he has all his friends in there, the brakes aren't going to be suddenly harder to press for him, so he can definitely stop in time. Okay. And you know how important it is. I have a son of my own, so I know how worried I would be about him learning how to drive. As we walk around to the back of the vehicle, I want to point out this long sloping line, okay? This long sloping line is how we achieve such great fuel economy. As you can see in the window sticker, you actually get 38 miles per gallon in the city and 56 on the highway. And how we achieve that is this has 0.30 coefficient of drag. That's the same as our 370Z, you know, the one you were admiring that you can't get because you have a 16-year-old son? Well, this actually has the same kind of drag coefficient, and you still get the taillights. 370 inspired taillights in a boomerang effect, which is great. So you don't lose out on that. The other thing I wanted to point out was this, and why I wanted to point it out is because you're not going to see it very often, because with the great fuel economy, you're almost getting hybrid fuel economy in this vehicle. And just to point that out is this is not just a good gas savings. Another thing about this vehicle is it's great for the environment. You're not polluting the environment, and you're saving money, and you get more horsepower. I mean, you see the value in that?
Absolutely.
It's pretty crazy, eh? And I want to point out that badge. That Pure Drive badge is only classified for vehicles that meet or exceed 2016 emission standards. So one thing that's nice is that you know that this vehicle is far superior in the sense that they've actually really cared when they designed it. Another thing that you noticed on the back, this is like your samurai sword. So you got the protection up front and you got the sword in the back. And it's kind of neat that they did that, because they've actually gone to an LED rear brake system, lights. What that means for you is they actually activate 3 times faster than a regular light bulb, which is great because the person behind you actually gets some time to be able to brake and before they can actually hit whatever hit you, which is a great feature as well. What I want to show is with the intelligent key, you keep this in your pocket, Mrs. Smith, her purse. When you walk up to the vehicle and you got those grocery bags in, you just simply touch the button, open it, and put them away. You also now have these nice little toggles right here, which you can release and fold down a 60-40 split back seat. Yep. Tons of room for 4 golf bags, maybe not carts, so you might have to rent a cart, but you know, there's enough room for 4 people, as you can see. So that's great for your lifestyle. For Jack, if he's driving and commuting with lacrosse, you can easily fit 3 bags in there, if not maybe 4. And lacrosse sticks will actually fit without even dropping the seats forward. Trust me, I know. If not, we can go to my house and I can show you it. All right, so that's just, I wanted to point that out for you. As we walk back around over to this side of it, I wanted to just to show you like the overall style and appearance on this side of the vehicle. I mean, it looks just incredible. The other thing that you get here is you actually have full curtain airbags. You know, safety is a concern. You have a full curtain airbag that starts at the A, B, and C pillar, which is a full one-side curtain airbag. You also have an airbag built into the side of the seat. You also have active head restraint, so even if the person had their eyes closed when you put on the brakes and they didn't see your LED lights and hit you from behind, the headrest will actually tip forward and prevent whiplash, which is a great safety feature as well. So it's just something to keep in mind that it is super safe. Yep. You also have vehicle dynamic control on this vehicle, and what that does is it independently regulates all 4 wheels. What that's going to do for you is if you're going down the road and you go around a corner, it'll actually apply the brakes to the appropriate wheels to get you going to a straight if you get in an event of an understeer or oversteer. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. Basically, to simplify it a bit, just so you understand, is if you're going around the corner and the vehicle starts to slide, it'll auto-correct itself and help prevent an accident from ever happening, so you never have to worry about the beautiful style of your car getting smashed, which is kind of a nice feature.
Absolutely.
So here's your seat, because probably Mrs. Smith's going to fall in love with it just as much. I mean, if it's like anything like it is at my house, this is my seat. So you can see it's still really comfortable and with easy adjustments. It is a manual adjustment seat in this, and you'd have to move to a Maxima before you would actually get a power passenger seat. But realistically, you don't have to move the seats forward and back that much because there is that much room in the back seat, which is a great feature. What I'm going to do is I'll just hop on the other side and I'll just show you a little bit more about the vehicle. Okay. So now that we're sitting in this wonderful vehicle, I basically wanted to point out some extra features. You have your heated seats, which you can leave on for the automatic start, the heated steering wheel. But as I engage this, I'll show you how some of this information works. You have a full navigation system, and it is Nissan Connect. So what that means for you is you can actually go on your computer, find a destination that you want, and program it to the navigation system. You also have your garage door home link system. And something I just recently learned about with the home link system is not everybody's got 3 garage doors. But if you have a sensor inside your house for your lights, you can actually program the home link assist to actually turn on the lights in your house so that you can actually see inside. And you also notice that it is a Bose audio sound system. And I know that Jack likes his music. Well, the nice thing about Bose and all the insulation on the outside of the car, it also keeps the sound on the inside of the car, so it's very clear and concise. So he can listen to his music, personal music, it streams with him, and he can program his phone as well as your Mrs. Smith and yourself. You guys can all have your phones connected and ease in listening to music. As you can see with this display center right in here, it's completely changed. I just wanted to point out some different things. As you flip through it, you have right now we have a white colored car right there. You can actually change the color in the 3-dimensional page for different colored cars. So if Mrs. Smith is wearing something in a different color, she can actually match the car to match the inside, on the inside of the display obviously only. But since we are driving a red car, we would probably like to change over and shift over to be able to change that. And I'll show you how simple and straightforward that is to do. So if you go down to the body color right here, it is only changing the color here, but it does allow you to do that, which is kind of a nice feature. So now, very simply, when I go back out, there's my red car. It's very simple and straightforward. Yeah. Another thing about it is turn-by-turn navigation here, but so you don't take your hands off the steering wheel, you can watch it right here, and it'll actually give you all your directions on where to turn without ever having to take your eyes off the road, which is great for you, but great for Jack too, who's learning, right? And you can see the value of being able to do that. With the tire pressure, With the tire and pressure monitoring system, that's the other thing, just so that you can know. The last thing is, well, let's take this for a drive because I want to show you how the CVT transmission is actually 40% less friction, which gives you more power and better fuel economy, and that's how we obtain it. You ready for a test drive?
Absolutely.
Let's go do it.
Let's go.